strives to achieve its objectives through its flagship project, which include the annual African Achievement Awards and the African Business Forum. These two projects are aimed at celebrating excellence, encourage best practice, and promote opportunities to exchange knowledge and share business intelligence. My guests today are from the African Forum Scotland and the Centre for Africa Policy Research and Development. Mr. Bertus Ojong Echu, CEO, African Forum Scotland. Mr. Festus Olatunde, Executive Director, Finance and Operation, African Forum Scotland. And from the Centre of Africa Policy Research and Development is the Director, Mr. Obumneme Nwafo. Welcome to the interview on RKTV. Let me start with African Forum Scotland. After the successful forum, the first annual Scottish International Business Conference and Exhibition, which took place back in April this year. Your next stop seems to be Nigeria. Why Nigeria?
Well, the reason why it's Nigeria is because of the role that Nigeria plays in Africa. Nigeria is a key player when it comes to the socio-economic development of Africa and even in security as well. So we thought that after the success of the conference that held in April this year in Glasgow, we should look at the way of establishing that business link between Scotland and Nigeria.
Africa Forum seems to deal with specific themes. Could you just tell us why is it part of your goal to change the perceptions of how people in Scotland perhaps will do business with the rest of the world, including Africa?
Oh, well, before I go to that question, I would also like to add to what the CEO have said. Now, the issue about Africa is very important and significant to the world. And Nigeria plays a very strong role in Africa in terms of peace, leadership, economy, and other areas, even politics. Now, if any business is going to succeed in Africa, if you try it in Nigeria and it works, you can be sure that it's going to succeed in other part of Africa. A lot of people from Scotland want to go to Nigeria and explore the business opportunities there. And this was one of the issues that came up in our last conference. And we now look at it that Nigeria should be the first place where we should go. And we want to do this year. And next year, we are looking at Sierra Leone. And the third year, we are looking at Cameroon. And then South Africa. So before it comes to Nigeria, it might take about 20 years or 25 years to come. So we need to do it in all the various African countries. Now, back to your question.
Changing perceptions, is that your focus? You want to change the way the rest of the world does business in Africa. So, because the African Forum Scotland seems to deal with specific things, changing perceptions. You know, your last conference was changing perceptions of how business is done in Africa, and then now it's changing perception of sustainability of sustaining business in Nigeria. So I'm just thinking that the specific phrases of changing perception. Are you trying to change the perception on how people in Scotland and the rest of the world look at how they do business in Africa?
Yes, you are very correct. One of our aims and objectives is to allay the fear from the investors that Nigeria or Africa is a no-go area. We want to make sure that they are aware that that is the future of the world in terms of business, economic and trade. The level of import and export that is coming from that continent, especially Nigeria, is very high. And what I've realized is that news don't flow about the good things happening in Nigeria or Africa. Business trade, those who have gone for businesses in Africa, in Nigeria, who have been successful, some of them they keep quiet. When there's a negative report, or a small negative report, or a little thing happening, and there's a lot of media hype, a lot of expansion, capitalization on those things. What about the good business that has transpired, which has really been successful? So we want to change that perception that, look, Africa is good for business. Nigeria is fantastic. If you meet the right people and do the right thing, do the right business, it's a country whereby you will never regret having business relationship with. So this is one of the perceptions we are trying to change and let people know that we need to go there and see it yourself. Seeing is believing. For instance, there has just been a relationship established during the last conference with the Benue State government. And some people have gone from Scotland here, they've gone to Benue State, and they are very happy with what they've seen. This is just the beginning, a tip of an iceberg. So we have other investors who are going to Nigeria based on what they saw in the last conference.
I think it's very unfortunate that we have allowed a third party to define us and given us the image that we carry about. And this is one of the core areas that this conference is trying to address. The foreign media, unfortunately, has given us a tag, but this is possible because we are not doing enough. They keep showing images of the hungry child, running nose, malnourished black African child. I don't know where they get those images from, even though I'm not saying they're not real, but those are not the images of the Africa that we know. Those are not the images of Abuja, Lagos, and Port Harcourt that we know. They are showing, at best, 50% of the story. The remaining 50% is what we want to showcase the world. We want to tell them about the extraordinary intellect that has abounded in the country for years. We want to tell them about the vibrant workforce. We want to tell them about the expanded middle class, the very vibrant youths that have very, very potential and resourceful energy that can be showcased and can be driven into purposeful use. So the issue of perception is key, because you can't be dealt with beyond what you are being perceived as.
How does your center operate? How does it fall within this agenda of trying to change perception, which is a focus that the African Forum Scotland has taken?
Okay, a little bit of a background. The Center for Africa Policy Research and Development is an economic and socio-political think tank based here in Scotland, led by Africans who have distinguished themselves in their various areas of endeavor. Our strength lies in the unique intellectual power base that we have, which comprises of an expanding network of professionals in both the academia and the industry.
What are some of the outcomes and perhaps achievement that you think the African Forum has gained from the last conference?
Well, there's been quite a lot going on, as Festus has already mentioned. There is already great partnership work between African Forum Scotland and the Benue State government. We have seen partnership work, for example, between Glasgow Caledonia University partnering with the Benue State University in looking at some some cross courses across the border government. We have seen partnership work, for example, between Glasgow Caledonia University partnering with the Benue State University in looking at some some cross courses across the border.
Would that mean Glasgow Caledonia University will have a campus in Benue State, or how is that going?
Some of the courses which are being delivered here will be delivered over there in Benue State, without those students in Benue State necessarily have to travel, but will gain the British qualification and having that quality education.
Are the lecturers going to come from Glasgow Caledonia University to lecture in Nigeria?
Well, that's something that is ongoing. So they are looking at already the framework, which has been piloted already in South Africa through the Transnet project and also in Bangladesh. So it's a model that has already done, but again, which will be implemented in Benue. And again, that has come as a result of the African Forum Scotland setting up the platform through the last conference that we had in April.
And also, the Quality Scotland, one of the most reputable organizations in Scotland here, to ensure quality assurance of services, production, and things like that. Now, they are going to Benue State to look at the ministries and see where quality assurance can be implemented in terms of the processes, operations, leadership. This is a unique opportunity which has been tried in another part of Africa, in some places like Hong Kong and even Malawi, which has really worked. And for the first time, they are taking this to Africa. And the first state to have a knowledge of this is Benue State. This came up as a result of the conference that happened. And in addition to that, the client broadcast here, they will work in partnership with the state government to see how they can develop some other things, some of their radio network, television network, and some other things. So there's quite a broad range of things going on at the moment based on this conference. And the High Commissioner to Sierra Leone was here and was quite happy that there's a lot of businesses in Sierra Leone that would like to partner with Scotland. And that platform has been developed. And we are working towards that to ensure that this business in Scotland is taken to Sierra Leone. And business in Sierra Leone can also come to Scotland. So the same thing we are trying to do in Nigeria. There's quite a number of Nigerians who would like to come here in business, have something to do here, but they need that link. And there are quite a number of investors who want to go to Nigeria, so they need that link. And this is why we have this platform.
Yeah.
And adding on to that as well, we, as a result of the conference and ongoing work, we have just had the intellectual property right to represent the European Foundation for Quality Management accreditation across Africa. And
That's African Forum Scotland.
African Forum Scotland. And we have actually zoned it into 4 areas. West Africa with headquarters in Nigeria, which will be based in Abuja, in looking at quality assurance, for the different sectors, from the private, public sector. East Africa, the headquarters will be based in Kenya, in Nairobi. North Africa will be based in Cairo, in Egypt. And Central Africa will be based in Cameroon, in Yaoundé. So these are very massive and significant development
that you gained from the last conference. I just want to ask, what made you? Did you see a gap that in the market of this kind of initiative to take place? Because it seems as if I was in the last conference and it was a very vibrant, very educative forum for me, and I think that a lot of people left from there. I spoke to a lot of participants, and I think they had a lot of they gained a lot from being the conference. Why did Africa Forum come? How did that come about?
Thank you very much. You see, we have 2 concepts which you have mentioned. We look at our environment, but first and foremost, if any African or a leader is doing something and we cannot showcase it, then who is going to showcase it? It is not when an African has done something bad that you see it in the news. What about those who are doing so well? Why are we suppressing them? Why are we not recognizing them? And on the other side, if people have done so well, in what way can they be rewarded? Then how do we move to the next level in terms of economic growth, trade liberalization, and trade development, and being able to work in partnership with government from Africa so that they can know what is happening here, and we can facilitate within the government here with the government in Africa. So we look at all these options, and we now came together that it's good for us to have a forum, a big forum, where we can discuss ideas of those who have done so well within the African community and the leaders who deserve awards. So we have an award program that comes out once in a year. And also, we look at the conference we are organizing. And in partnership with the Center for African Policy and Research Development Center, we are also looking at bringing in speakers from different parts of the world to come and speak on anything that will promote Africa and help Africa move to the next level. So it was this idea that led to the formation of African Forum Scotland. So when we had our first meeting, we look at various objectives, what's the vision, what's the scope, and this was well defined, as you can see on our website, www.africanforumscotland.org.
We're also looking at, again, the environment. We look at what does Scotland has to offer to Africa, and also look at what does Africa has to offer for Scotland. Now, it's based on the concept of co-creation, where wealth is co-created on both sides of the eyes. And that should lead to economic development, creating more jobs on both sides. And that should lead to also cultural exchange. And through that, it gives a far more stable and sustainable platform. As Fesu rightly mentioned, if we don't recognize our leaders, who will recognize them? We have to recognize our leaders and also create that platform where young people can have role models. Because when there are no role models, it's difficult for people to become inspired. So, and that's why the award program is very crucial to classification of universities. 3 out of the 10 came from Scotland. When you look at renewable energy, for example, and wind and solar, Scotland is leading the world. When you look at in oil technology, Scotland is leading the world, the University of Aberdeen. You know, when you look at even in terms of business development, Scotland is leading the
Even
world.
invention, because television was invented by Scottish.
Is looking at this now, with the report that came from the World Bank and even the African Development Bank, where it said a lot of African economies become emerging economy in 2035. If Africa is going to become a strong and emerging economy in 2035, with the rich natural and human resources that Africa does have, that human resources need to be thoroughly developed to enhance and develop those natural resources. And what Scotland has to offer is that skills development, which Africa badly needs in developing the natural and human resource.
Yeah, that's good. Very, very good response there.
And if I may add, from the Nigerian perspective, many years ago, with this lesson, and look at the charity side, they are very good also in helping some charitable work. But this lesson left Scotland many years ago and went to Nigeria. He did quite a lot. She did quite a lot of work in terms of education, schools, health. He was stopping the killing of twins. So today is a record. As you can see, we've got a lot to share. If you look at the Clarence Bank, 10 pounds note, you see Nigerian map at the back of that note. It's Scottish. So you should have.
So there's a common relationship with Scotland and Nigeria. Given the fact that Center for African Policy Research and Development, comes to this, it looks like while African Forum seems to be pushing the agenda, your center is focusing on gathering the data that is necessary and pinpointing out the right people that can be involved in different ways so that they can support this agenda. I'm just wondering, how do you see your operations in Scotland relating that with Africa?
Well, you are 100% correct by saying that we are gathering the market intelligence, and this has revealed a lot to us. While we don't intend to insinuate any negativity, our research has actually revealed quite a lot, especially in the area of the perception, and we quite observe with very keen interest the level of imbalance that has been established, especially in reporting Nigeria to the world. I happen to have the opportunity of being part of the investments industry in Nigeria. And one of the biggest issues that I faced while trying to make linkages with the international community was the fact that Nigeria is listed on the anti-money laundering list. It's a high-risk country to deal with. And we questioned that. Why should that be? On what basis? If we look at the history of scams in the world, the biggest scam that has ever been committed in the history of mankind was done by an American called Madoff. As a matter of fact, the very first that was committed at a large scale was done by a man called Ponzi, an Italian American. Came the name Ponzi scheme. Recently, we saw the cases of Enron and the rest of them. Now, these are frauds that have magnitudes. That's all the so-called frauds in Nigeria multiplied by 100 in terms of the value and volume of money being talked about wouldn't even match. So why is America, where these people reside and have government posts, like Madoff was one time the chairman of the SEC, why is it that their name is not on the anti-money laundering list? Why Nigeria with the small, don't get me wrong, I said, why not trying to insinuate any negativity?
Yes.
But the point is that with intellectual minds at work, we would like to look at things on a balance to see what is happening and what is not happening. But the point is that the challenge lies on us to bring these things to bear for the world to look at and say, and make a judgment. So on that note, I would like to add weight to what Festus and Bertus have been mentioning. There is a lot that Nigeria can give to the world. And the stuff that's given a tint on the image of Nigeria is actually based on an imbalance of judgment. And we will continue to do a lot more work on gathering empirical evidence and market intelligence to support our opinion on this.
Excellent, that's good. I'll start, just to tell for each of you to tell me, what do you expect to achieve in this Nigerian conference that's coming up in September?
First and foremost, we expect quite a large number of investors to turn out.
That's from Scotland
and Nigeria. Already we have seen people showing great interest from Scotland who are ready to go to Nigeria. And we want the same to happen in Nigeria. We are looking at the involvement of the High Commissioner, the Nigerian High Commissioner to UK, Dr. Dalham Tafida, who has been doing a great work in saying that Nigeria is seen as a giant in terms of business growth and development. So he is expected to take the lead in terms of leading this event. And we want we expect the president of Nigeria to declare this event open. Also, we've been speaking to some key people, key business leaders in the country to participate. And we are looking at the last week, the last Thursday and Friday in September, 26 and 27, in Transcorp Hilton Hotel in Abuja. That is where this event is going to hold, on the 26th and 27th of this year.
Can you tell us some of the key speakers that are already confirmed to speak in this? I know that the Center for Africa Policy and Research and Development Scotland will be participating or giving a talk there. So, but what are some of the names that we can just grasp?
We have on the list among the confirmed speakers. We have His Excellency Dr. Suswan,
the Executive Governor of Benue
State. We have on the confirmed list Sir Michael Kiro, the former Inspector General, the Chairman of the Nigerian Police Commission. He's going to talk on the security issue, which is very key to business in Nigeria. We have the Chief Executive of Nexim Bank, who has agreed to speak also on the export and import operations in Nigeria.
Quite a diverse, speakers there that will come with different perspectives. So, what will be your expectations?
And from Scotland, we have the Chief Executive of Quality Scotland, one of the most reputable organizations across Scotland. Dave Bradley will be speaking. We have the Glasgow Caledonian University, Professor John Lennon, who will be talking on realistic education environment and partnership between Scotland and Nigeria. We have Atlantic Waters will be coming, looking at sustainable economic development on water purification and irrigation. They'll be present. We have Clyde Brokers who will also be present. In total, we are looking no less than 20 investors from Scotland, leaving Scotland to this conference in Nigeria.
That's very impressive. And the Center for Africa Policy Research and Development, what will you be talking about in this conference in Abuja?
Well, I'll say first of all, like Festus mentioned, the Nigeria and Scotland have a very long history. As a child, I was a member of the Boys Brigade, and I was told that the founder of the Boys Brigade was Sir William Alexander Smith, who came from Glasgow. I'm married to a beautiful lady who's a twin, and she came from the eastern part of Nigeria, where Mary Slessor had to go and stop the killing of twins. So for me, it's an emotional stuff to be in Scotland, which has played this role, in my life. Yeah. Now, in this conference, I expect a balance of opinion, a balance of trade. We've all long advocated that Africa needs more trade, not aid. While we thank the Western world for the aid that they have given us so far, we insist that the bulk of our relationship with the rest of the world should be based on trade. And if we are given that opportunity on a balanced scale, Africa and Scotland in this first instance is going to see a far more beneficial mutual relationship. And that's what we expect to come out of this conference.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. And look forward to seeing you in Abuja.
Engineer Bruno.